Today I'm ranking the 13 fighters making up Team Kengan from weakest to strongest. As always, this ranking may change in the future, so for reference, this was made when chapter 137 was the latest. Some things will be interchangeable, as such I'll be placing some in groups, but I'll explain my reasoning throughout. Take note that a character ranked higher doesn't mean he can't lose to a lower rank. You could even say that any of the 13 fighters have a chance to defeat anyone else on the list. Hit the like and subscribe button and of course enjoy the video. At rank 13 sadly is Ryuto. Yes, learning the basics of the K1 style and just training with someone like Kroki helped, and I would say he's probably the most improved on the list, still possessing possible instant win moves like Razor's Edge, but Team Kengan is simply made up of absolute powerhouses, with this statement from Ludong and Naden not really helping, mainly when you consider how much weaker Purgatory is compared to Kengan. So top of B or low A list isn't that impressive to be honest. Next is the first group rank, making up 12, 11 and 10, featuring Hayami, Akoya and Ryuki. Hayami is someone who's quite hard to gauge due to the circumstances of his fight, compatibility being the focus and Purgatory rules pretty much giving him the win. If you're questioning why he's above Ryuto, in this panel, Canada thinks a fight between Ryuto and Konkoro would go either way, while Hayami pretty much zero diffed Konkoro. But do take note that this was before Ryuto showed his improvements over the time skip, and I do think Ryuto would roll Konkoro as well, but back to Hayami, Konkoro states that he might be even stronger than Ryuki, and did show solid striking and grappling ability against Shirota. He also got progressively stronger throughout his fight, with this statement implying he has surpassed Meguro, the original, as he's the clone. Even though he doesn't think he surpassed him, it most likely is the case, he's also potentially a genius as well, so yeah, hard to gauge but still very solid. Akoya, even though he didn't have an insane improvement, is still considered a top tier in Kengan with the fastest reflexes. In his initial fight with Garuki in Mega, we learned that he's stronger now than when he was working in tandem with his Lowy girl, so he does have an improvement, and also this new fighting style where he holds people down and beats on them, but that's really all. He's more unhinged in Omega, but still did demonstrate the ability to outstrike someone like Nicholas with some pretty solid endurance, and his unhingedness may actually be an advantage as he'll do some crazy stuff not many other fighters would be willing to do, but still very strong, just not comparable to the higher tiers on Team Kengan. And of course, next is Ryuki. He's someone I personally think hasn't released his full power in the story thus far. We know he lost a Kengan match against Akoya, but that was partly due to him stopping his killer intent blow and the whole existence of his boyfriend Koga in that scene. And looking at his Naden fight, he did demonstrate more abilities, and I do think he was trying harder against Naden than what he was against Akoya, or at least he was stronger against Naden. He was able to counter Naden's Eye of the Sky, which is a form of foresight, which again is very impressive, and kinda beat on Naden quite a bit when he was in serious mode, but still I don't think we've seen everything Garuki can do, and as the story goes on, due to him being one of the protagonists, we'll see much more of him and he will end up being much higher on the list. But Naden pretty much being suppressed, killing himself during that fight, it's hard to really gauge where Garuki stands, so right now he's on the same level as Akoya. Next is rank 9 and 8, including Tokuno and Okibo. So Okibo didn't really have much of an improvement due to his opponent being kind of the weakest in the tournament. Yes, he demonstrated the ability to have high level jabs and high level intelligence, but as a whole it's very hard to gauge his improvement and where he currently gauges in the story. I put him with Tokuno as they've both faced Kanekito and lost in the past. Whether you say Okibo did better against past Kanoh or Tokuno, it doesn't really matter, they're pretty much around equal. Tokuno demonstrated very high durability, being able to tank multiple Fajins from Lu Dongchen, with Gaolang even praising Dongchen's Fajin ability. He also has his very high level grappling and hard submissions, with us all knowing he would have destroyed Dongchen in a Kengan match right after the initial exchange. Okibo is probably better as an all-rounder fighter due to his synthesis being top tier at striking, grappling, just everything. While Tokuno does have striking ability, it is very simple and he's more so focusing on his durability, toughness you could say, and his hard submissions to finish people off, but still very solid middle of the pack fighters for Team Kengan. At rank 7 I have Misasa, the current Fangametsudo. Similar to the others, he's pretty hard to gauge due to him kind of destroying his opponent and not really demonstrating everything he can do. He was praised by Gaolang with his Salat ability, as you know Gaolang also uses Salat, so that's a good way to gauge him. So he's weaker than Gaolang but has the ability to pressure him. We also see that due to his technique mastery, he's able to do things like this without having the strength compared to the other characters, much bigger characters like heavyweight. So regardless of his size, he's still extremely powerful, being able to focus vitals and clap people quite easily, especially someone like Yumi. Next is another group, including ranks 6, 5 and 4, with the characters Waka, Gaolang and Julius. Waka, as we know, faced Faye and got a draw, with him pretty much demonstrating his insane durability throughout that fight as he pretty much took a beating. He did show improved anti-Nikosol tactics, but as a whole didn't have any major improvements, no new moves or something like that. We did get reminders of how dangerous a single blow from Waka can truly be and how the blast core must be avoided at all costs. Julius, currently a Mega, is pretty much Waka but better, with his Gotthata being much superior to the blast core in my opinion, being able to repel people with it, and also, you know, insane power one-shot capabilities. And the fact that Julius is simply just bigger than most other characters, his ability to hit people does get extended, and we learnt in Ashura that his resilience due to his bigger frame is over the likes of Wakatsuki. So at this point he's Waka but better, but I do keep them on the same tier due to a fight between these two. Kinda still going either way. Yes, Julius is better as a whole, but you could still say that Waka is more experienced, and again, one clean kick from Waka to the head would drop Julius yet again. But as a whole, even though I have him on the same tier, Julius will be higher. And then next is Gaolang, a character people either praise as the strongest, or a lot of people seem to downplay quite a bit. Let's first talk about one of the most broken things recently revealed about Gaolang and what he's able to do. Of course, a reminder that pre-initiative is the apex of foresight, and Carlos at a base level is the fastest speed-wise on Team Purgatory. Gaolang was able to counter Carlos's insane speed and pre-initiative like this, to strike quicker than the opponent's prediction. Very, very broken. Meaning he can kinda blitz pre-initiative, which is again insane. One issue as a whole I do have is Gaolang wasn't aware of the other way to counter pre-initiative, that being to predict further. This panel here showing the exchange of blows between Carlos and Gaolang does imply Gaolang also has pre-initiative, but his knowledge on it seems to be very limited, as Kanoh had to be the one to point out the other way to counter it, or what Gaolang was doing to counter Ohma's pre-initiative. But still, Gaolang is definitely the best striker in the Kengan-verse still. Carlos is implied to be the best striker on Team Purgatory, and when Gaolang pulled out his multi-X boxing, he absolutely rolled him, so easily the best striker still. On top of that, he has his partial trained out fist, allowing him to use the guard glow and have an unbreakable fist. Just as a whole, Gaolang is quite broken now in the series and very dangerous. I'm praying that he gets a very tough fight and demonstrates what he's truly capable of sometime in the future of Kengan Mega. Let's pray he fights like a top tier worm or something in the next up and coming arc. And to end today's video, we have another group including ranks 3, 2 and 1, including the fighters Kanoh, Agito, Tokita, Ohma and Kure, Raian. I think any of these three could currently be rank 1. We'll most likely get this more revealed as the story goes on, but for right now, I'm really not too sure which one is 1, which one is 2, which one is 3, so they're all again in the same group, very interchangeable. You could say that Raian is above Ohma as they're described to be relative by Kure color, but Ohma would be better defeating Gaolang than what Raian would be. One issue I do have, Ohma can only use the advance now in little blitzes, while Raian can still use his removal for however long he wants, meaning if he uses removal with techniques, he should be over the likes of Tokita, Ohma, but Raian may not have pre-initiative, which could be an issue, but we'll most likely see what Kure Raian is truly capable of in his fight against Edward Wu. Ohma right now is an absolute beast, master of pre-initiative, has improved Nico style moves, has broken Kure clan techniques and everything like that. And now we have Kanekito. Now he has no lag in switching from his formless to martial arts, still a master of pre-initiative. He has the Dragon Shot, capable of pretty much one-shotting anyone at this point due to his ability to land perfect strikes and just clap people with it. Kanoh as a whole, very top tier. Still has his evolution even though he didn't need it against Lutien. But yeah, Kanekito will still be a beast. Kuroki Gensai doesn't know whether or not he can defeat Kanoh. Kuroki didn't say anything like that to the likes of Ohma or Raian when they had their fights, but it's pretty hard to say who would win in a fight between any of these three, but I do think all of them have a better chance of defeating anyone else lower on the ranking list. But yeah, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow my Twitter, join the Discord, and as always, shout out to these people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys, peace.